So Clinton Hall here, your absolute favourite dad coach. Now I know I'm new to this platform, but you can follow me on Instagram at Almar Life. If you're interested in this channel, me sharing my views on holistic health, being able to empower dads and my fellow brothers and men around the world, then please subscribe to this channel, give me a comment, give me a like, blah, 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 you know the drill. But today, I wanted to reinforce the fact that one, I'm a father. I'm the proud father of two beautiful girls. One is 9 and one is 6. And today's story is about belief and the power that you have in your words and your language to impact your children for the better. So my eldest daughter, her name is Zara, she's 9 years old, and she is my firstborn. Okay, so I at least had 3 years underneath my belt of parenting and learning what to do before my second child came around. But ultimately, the first daughter, the first child, the firstborn is always the guinea pig. So all of my triggers, all of my inadequacies, all of my default parenting from what I learned from my parents, and trust me, they were not the model of exceptional parenting, unfortunately got passed on to my daughter. I know that it's not too late. I'm doing my best to work with her to help support the trauma that I may have caused in my inadequacies as a father and as a role model and as a parent, but I am learning all the time. I'm digging deep and I'm putting these things into practice. So the one thing that I wanted to share with you today, as I said, the word, it was belief. One of the most powerful sentences that you can ever share with your children, in this case my eldest daughter, is to look them in the eye and with conviction tell them that you believe them. Okay, there'll be many times in life that they come to you and they are scared, or if someone or something makes them feel uncomfortable, or if someone or something makes them feel unsafe. And it is your role as a parent, my role as a parent, to reinforce their feelings are real, but you are there to support them through it. You are there to help them navigate the experience, to protect them if someone or something is making them feel afraid, but also not to quash their emotion, not to invalidate the way that they feel, or not to ultimately call them a liar without saying so. So my daughter, she has a thing about feeling sick, okay? I use inverted commas there just because she's such a healthy little thing, and I think that, and again, this is the only thing, because it's hard for me to get her to converse and articulate the way that she feels, because she's only a young woman. She's still figuring that out. But she uses the term I feel unwell or I feel sick if she happens to feel worried or afraid or even anxious. I hate to use that term around children, but it's when she's concerned about something that may be out of her control, and she gets these little feelings within her body and she just umbrella buckets them as feeling sick. So this morning she did not want to go to school, and this is the anecdote that I want to share with you. She did not want to go to school. She was pushing hard, pressing hard. She got dressed late, she got out of bed late, she fluffed around with breakfast. She got out of the shower and she's already in her casual clothes, assuming that she was not going to go to school today because she told mum and dad that she felt sick. And one thing that I have really struggled with, and I know they're my father's and my mother's words repeating, and even some of my early childhood teachers, is that you'll be okay, or you're not sick. And I did hear myself saying that to her this morning. I literally said to her, "You're not sick, Zara, come on mate, get on with it, hurry up, let's get ready for school." And what that does is, for the child, is it reinforces to her that dad does not believe her, or dad does not care about her, or dad is not worried about her feelings. And so I had to warrant this. I had to acknowledge this with her. I had to apologize to her for saying that she was not sick. And I said to her that I believe her in the way that she feels. And so this conversation then went on the way to school. She was in the car next to me. She was a bit stroppy. She's looking out the window, and everything that I said, she goes, "I don't feel unwell, I don't feel sick. I feel sick. I don't want to go to school, Dad. I don't want to go to school. I feel sick, blah, blah, blah." And it finally took me about 20 minutes into the trip, and I patted her on the knee and I said, "Look, Zara, I believe you. If you are truly unwell, then I believe you, and we'll go home and you can rest for the day at home with Dad and I'll look after you." And this conversation went on roughly for an hour and a half, from the time we got up to the time we got ready, from the time we got to school. We literally arrived in the driveway at school. I dropped her sister off, and in the car she said, "Oh, okay Dad, I might go to school then today." And what happened, there was another sentence in there, and it was something along the lines of, maybe, Dylan, you're not sick, maybe you are just feeling a little bit worried about what's happening at school today. And if you don't want to talk to me, then that's okay, but I believe you. And as soon as I acknowledged her discomfort, as soon as I told her that I believed her, but then more importantly than that, as soon as she believed me when I told her that I believed her, those feelings of anxiety and worry and even her sickness just magically disappeared. It was a struggle this morning to get my kids to school. Most mornings it's not that tough. Most mornings they're early risers. We do some exercise, we get outside, we ground, we have breakfast together. Sometimes it's a few laughs, sometimes it can be a struggle. This morning was one of those struggles. And as parents, most of the time we get it wrong. And that's just the reality of life. You know, we don't know what we don't know, and unfortunately most of our habits, our reactionary responses are habitual, they're ingrained, they're what we learn and what we saw and what brought us up as children. But it's up to us to break that mold. It's up to us to recognize our patterns and our triggers and our traumas and how we can break those generational cycles and empower our children, one, to own their emotions, own their feelings, own their ability to communicate and authentically express themselves and tell their mum and dad exactly how they feel and why they feel that way. And then also up to us to create a container where our children can operate from safety, where we believe them and they believe us. When we say that your interests, your health, these outcomes are our highest priority, that we mean it with conviction, but then also that they believe us. So that's the lesson for the day. Any dads out there, you know, if you find yourself responding in a way that is your own father's words, and you would remember them, get up son, you're not sick, don't be lazy, do this, come on, shut up, so you spoke when you're spoken to. There's so many of those phrases, paragraphs, which really take away from the vulnerability and the authentic curiosity of a child. Is, you know, we're literally invalidating them and their responses and how they cope with the world. So it is up to us to work through that, recognize that in ourselves, break those patterns consciously, and then support our children so that they can be better versions of themselves and they can help support us in our growth as well. So there it is, that simple phrase, I believe you, but then also meaning it, letting them build that trust with you. It's an ongoing part of life to be the best parent that you can be. All the best. If you recognize any of these patterns in yourself, if you want to share this, if you want to comment below, if you've got any questions about my perspectives or some of the resources that I've had to use to develop my parenting skills, I'd love your feedback, love your comments. Thanks for watching. All the best. Love you.